Hello everyone, welcome back to Crack Grade B. This is Bhavya Chaudhary and this is your second lecture of polity for specifically UPSC EPFO. In last lecture we have done Indian Council Act of 1892. So the next act is Indian Council Act of 1909, which is also known as Morley-Minto Reform. So let's start by this act. This act is also known as Morley-Minto Reform. This act is also known as Morley-Minto Reform. इस एक्ट को Morley-Minto Reform भी कहते हैं. Lord Morley was then Secretary of State for India. Lord Morley, Secretary of State थे, and Lord Minto was then Viceroy of India. Lord Minto was then Viceroy of India. Next features देखते हैं. Next features. It increased the size of Legislative Council from 16 to 60. This is very important feature of this act, that it increased the size of Legislative Council from 16 to 60 in both central and provincial level. In both central and provincial level. The question will be asked, by which act seats of Legislative Council was increased from 16 to 60 in both central and provincial level. So the answer will be Council Act of 1909 or Morley-Minto Reform. Next important point, it retained official majority in Central Legislative Council but allowed the Provincial Legislative Council also. It retained the official majority in Central Legislative Council. Third, it enlarged the deliberative function of Legislative Council. For example, members were allowed to ask supplementary questions, move resolution on budget and so on. In the last act that we have studied was Indian Council Act of 1892. In that act, Indians were given the power to discuss budget, but they were not allowed to ask supplementary question or move resolution. But by 1909, they were also allowed to ask supplementary question and move resolution. So this is the next important point of 1909. Next is very important. Satyendra Prasad Sinha became the first Indian to join the Viceroy Executive Council and appointed as law. This question is earlier asked in various exams, and there is a higher probability that they will again ask that who was the first Indian to join the Viceroy Executive Council. So the answer is Satyendra Prasad Sinha. Satyendra Prasad Sinha जो थे was the first Indian to join Viceroy Executive Council. Next important feature is a separate system of communal representation for Muslim was introduced. A separate system of communal representation was introduced, and this act legalized communalism. And Lord Minto was known as father of communal electorate. This is very important point, that who was the father of communal electorate. So Lord Minto was the father of communal electorate. Next point, it also provided for the separate representation of presidencies, corporation, chambers of commerce, universities and zamindar. It also provided separate representation, not for communal representation, but also for presidency, corporation, chamber of commerce, university and zamindar. So what are the bounding point of this act of Government of India Act of 1909 or Morley-Minto Reform? Thus, that this act legalized communalism. This act increased seats from 16 to 60 in both central and provincial level. Satyendra Prasad Sinha was the first Indian who joined Viceroy Executive Council as a law member, and Lord Minto was also known as father of communal electorate. So these are some basic brownie point of this act. So next act is Government of India Act of 1919. Government of India Act of 1919. On 20th August 1917, British government declared for the first time that they will bring responsible government. That their objective is to bring responsible government for Indians. So this act came into force in 1921. This is very important point. They will ask in exam that Government of Indian Act of 1919, when was it came into force? It was came into force in 1921. This act is also known as Montague-Chelmsford Reform. This is also very important. This act is also known as Montague-Chelmsford Reform. Next, Montague was the Secretary of State. Who was Montague? Montague was the Secretary, and Lord Chelmsford was then Viceroy of India. Lord Chelmsford was Viceroy of India. So next are the feature of this act. Important feature of this act are it relaxed the central control over provinces by demarcating and separating central and provincial subjects. Basically, this act separates central and provincial subjects. Government of Indian Act of 1919, 1990 Act separate central and provincial subjects. Central and provincial subjects. So this is very important. They will ask in exam by which act central and provincial subjects were separated. So the answer will be Government of India Act 1990. Structure was centralized and unitary. Structure was centralized and unitary, and provincial subjects were divided into two parts that were transferred and reserved subjects. Provincial subjects were divided into two parts that were transferred and reserved subjects. So what is transfer subject? Transfer subjects were to be administered by governor with the aid of minister responsible to the legislative council. Transfer subjects were those subjects which were administered by governor with the aid of council of minister, but they were responsible to the legislative council. Next is reserve subject. Reserve subject were to be administered by governor and his executive council, not legislative council, executive council, without being responsible to the legislative council, without being responsible to the legislative council. So that is the difference between these two subjects. There is a need of attention here that transfer subjects were to be administered by governor with the aid of minister responsible to the legislative council. They were responsible. Responsibility was in transfer subject, and there was no responsibility in reserved subject. Next important point is this dual system is also known as diarchy, means double rule. Diarchy, double rule. It introduced for the first time bicameral legislature. Bicameralism. What do you mean by bicameralism? In bicameralism, there are two houses, upper house and lower house. So by this act, which Act? Government of India Act 1919, they bring bicameralism and direct election in the country. First time direct election was introduced in Government of India Act of 1919. Bicameralism was introduced in Government of India Act of 1919. Next, Indian Legislative Council was replaced by bicameral legislature, consist of upper house and lower house. Indian Legislative Council. that was introduced in Indian Council Act of 1892. इंडियन लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल जो है वो इंडियन काउंसिल एक्ट ऑफ 1892 से लिया गया था. उसको किससे रिप्लेस कर दिया? बायकैमरलिज्म, which was introduced by Government of India Act of 1990. Next point, they were chosen by direct election. They were chosen by direct election. 3 out of 6 members of Viceroy Executive Council were to be Indian. 3 out of 6 members. 3 out of 6 members were Indians, okay, from Viceroy Executive Council. Next is principle of communal representation by providing separate electorate for not only for Muslim but also for Sikh, Indian Christians, Anglo-Indians and European as well. So by Government of India Act of 1919, they also introduced separate electorate for Sikh, Anglo-Indian, European also. If this question will be asked, then you have to mark Government of India Act of 1919. Next important brownie point of this act, it granted franchise to a limited number of people. It granted franchise to a limited number of people on the basis of property, tax or education. Here means right to vote only for the people who have certain amount of property or they have given tax. Next, they created a new office, that is High Commissioner in London, Office of High Commissioner. क्वेश्चन पूछा जा सकता है आप लोगों से, by which act Office of High Commissioner in London was introduced? So it was Government of India Act of 1919. By this Office of High Commissioner, it transferred some function of Secretary of State to this office. Means यहाँ पे कुछ पावर जो है ट्रांसफर की गई थी to Office of High Commissioner in London. Next, establishment of Public Service Commission and Central Public Service Commission was set up in 1926 for recruiting civil servants. Important feature of this act is important feature of this act is that it establishment of Public Service Commission and Central Public Service Commission was set up in 1920 for recruiting civil servants. This is very important point. Next, it separated for the first time provincial budget from central budget and authorized the provincial legislature to enact their budget. First time provincial budgets were separated from central budgets. Provincial budgets को separate किया गया था central budget से by Government of India Act of 1990. Next, it provided for appointment of statutory commission to inquire into and report on its working after 10 years of its coming its force. They also appointed a statutory commission. They also appointed a statutory commission to inquire into and report on its working for 10 years. Okay. So next is Simon Commission. That statutory commission we are talking about in this act is Simon Commission. So what is Simon Commission? It is very important. Question also come from this part. In November 1927 itself, British government announced the appointment of 7-member statutory commission under the chairmanship of Sir John Simon, who submitted his report in 1930. It's very important, Simon Commission. So what is important point here? This is 7-member body which consist only Britishers. Second, it appointed in 1927 and gave its report in 1930. 27 में स्टार्ट हुई थी, 1930 में they gave report. Next, all the member of commission were British. जैसे मैंने बताया. Next, recommend the abolition of diarchy, extension of responsible government in provinces, establishment of Federation of British India, princely state, and continuation of communal electorate, and so on. This point is also very important. Many times they ask about that abolition of diarchy was introduced by Simon Commission, or it is mentioned in Simon Commission. So your answer will be yes. Abolition of diarchy was mentioned in Simon Commission. Even extension of responsible government in provinces, establishment of Federation of British India and princely state was also mentioned in Simon Commission. Next, 3 राउंड टेबल कॉन्फ्रेंस हुई थी, ठीक है, फॉर दिस कमीशन. नेक्स्ट, वाइट पेपर ऑन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन रिफॉर्म वाज प्रिपेयर्ड एंड सबमिट इट्स रिफॉर्म फॉर कंसिडरेशन ऑफ जॉइंट सेलेक्ट कमिटी of the British Parliament. Simon Commission is important. 7 members were appointed. They established this statutory commission 1927, and they gave this report. They gave a report in 1930. Only Britishers were the member of Simon Commission. And दूसरा, abolition of diarchy, extension of responsible government, establishment of Federation of British India, princely state, continuation of communal electorate, and so on. These points were also mentioned in Simon Commission. Next point, recommendation of this committee were incorporated in the next Government of India Act of 1935. So the next act is Government of India Act of 1935. This is very important act. Government of India Act of 1935. So this is second milestone toward a completely responsible government in India. The second milestone. It was a lengthy, detailed document having 321 sections, and 10 schedules. Just 10 schedules. 10 schedules. Features देखते हैं. Feature of this act, it also provided for establishment of all India Federation consisting of provinces and princely state as unit. It provided for establishment of all India Federation. Establish के लिए इस act के through आए, of all India Federation, which consist of princely state as well as provinces. This act divided the power between center and unit. Means 3 lists came through this act. In our original constitution, there are also 3 lists. So आप बता सकते हैं कौन से शेड्यूल में है 3 list. So that is in 7th schedule. 7th schedule. There are also 3 lists. That is federal list for center, provincial list, and concurrent list. In our constitution, central list, state list, and concurrent list is there. Concurrent list is there. Central list में originally 97 थे, now 100 subjects are there. State में earlier 66, now 61, and in this there are 52 subjects in concurrent list. In Government of India Act में भी 3 list थी, federal list for center, provincial list for provinces, and concurrent list. Next is residuary power were given to the viceroy. Residuary power were given to the viceroy. Residuary power were given to the viceroy. क्वेश्चन आ चुका है, by which act residuary power were given to the Viceroy? So the answer is Government of India Act of 1935. Next point, residuary power were given to the Viceroy. Next is Federation never came into being as Princess State did not join it. स्टार्टिंग में आई टोल्ड यू अबाउट ऑल इंडिया फेडरेशन, तो वो कभी हो नहीं पाया बिकॉज प्रिंसली स्टेट नेवर ज्वाइंड इट. नेक्स्ट, इट अबॉलिश डायरकी इन प्रोविंसेस, abolished diarchy in provinces and introduced provincial autonomy in its place. This act abolished diarchy in provinces. Diarchy जो डबल रूल था वो प्रोविंसेस पे अबॉलिश कर दिया गया, बट and they gave provincial autonomy in its place. Next, provinces were allowed to act as autonomous unit of administration in their defined sphere. Provinces को autonomous units की तरह treat किया गया. Next, act introduced responsible government in provinces. That is, the governor was required to act with the advice of minister responsible to the provincial legislature. By this act, रिस्पॉन्सिबल गवर्नमेंट वॉज इंट्रोड्यूस. तो गवर्नर जो था, गवर्नर इज रिक्वायर्ड टू एक्ट अकॉर्डिंग टू द काउंसिल ऑफ मिनिस्टर. नेक्स्ट, इट प्रोवाइड फॉर अडॉप्शन ऑफ डायरकी एट द सेंटर. इट प्रोवाइड adoption of diarchy at the center but abolish diarchy at provincial level. Government of India Act of 1935 has abolished diarchy at provincial level but introduced diarchy at central level. This is very important. Next, federal subjects को divide किया गया reserve subject and transfer subjects में. Next, it introduced bicameralism in 6 out of 11 provinces. They introduced bicameralism 6 out of 11. किधर किधर इंट्रोड्यूस किया? बंगाल, बॉम्बे, मद्रास, बिहार, असम, यूनाइटेड प्रोविंसेस. दूसरा प्रोविंसेस ये 6 हैं. देन आपका लेजिस्लेटिव काउंसिल, लेजिस्लेटिव असेंबली भी बनाई गई क्योंकि बाइकैमरिज्म है, 2 हाउसेस बनाए गए और रिस्ट्रिक्शंस उन पर लगाए गए. फर्दर एक्सटेंडेड द प्रिंसिपल ऑफ कम्युनल रिप्रेजेंटेशन बाय प्रोवाइडिंग सेपरेट इलेक्टोरेट फॉर डिप्रेस्ड क्लास, शेड्यूल कास्ट, वुमेन, लेबर. दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. क्वेश्चन आ चुका है काफी बार. दे आस्क बाय विच एक्ट सेपरेट इलेक्टोरेट फॉर डिप्रेस्ड क्लास, वुमेन एंड लेबर वर गिवन. आंसर इज गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया एक्ट ऑफ 1930. सबसे पहले सेपरेट इलेक्टोरेट फॉर मुस्लिम्स किस एक्ट के थ्रू दिए गए थे? बाय गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडियन काउंसिल एक्ट ऑफ 1909. एंड सिख, एंग्लो इंडियंस और यूरोपियंस को किस एक्ट के थ्रू सेपरेट इलेक्टोरेट्स दिए गए थे? दैट वाज गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया एक्ट ऑफ 1990. बट अगर बात की जाए लेबर, शेड्यूल कास्ट एंड वुमेन, तो द आंसर इज गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया एक्ट ऑफ 1930. Next is it further extended the principle of communal representation by providing separate electorate. ये हो चुका है. It abolished Council of India. It abolished Council of India, which was established by Government of India Act of 1858. Through Government of India Act of 1935, they abolished Legislative Council of India. Secretary of State for India was provided with team of advisor. Secretary of State for India को team of advisors ही मिली. Next, it extended franchise and about 10% of total population got the voting right. 10% of total population को first time voting का अधिकार मिला. They got the voting rights. Provided for establishment of RBI, Reserve Bank of India, to control and credit currency in the country. RBI was established by Government of India Act of 1935. Next, it provided for the establishment of not only of Federal Public Service Commission but Provincial Public Service Commission, Joint Public Service Commission, and for 2 or more provinces. So it provided for establishment not only for Federal Public Service Commission, Provincial Legislative Service Commission and Joint Public Service Commission. It provided for establishment of federal court. Federal court का establishment हुआ in 1937 and Sir Maurice Goyer was the first Chief Justice. So question they will ask, who was the first Chief Justice of Federal Court in 1937? So the answer will be Sir Maurice Goyer. Next is Communal Award. Communal Award. Second round table conference के बाद, after second round table conference in August 1932, British PM Ramsay MacDonald gave Communal Award. This Communal Award, that is separate representation, was to be provided to the forward caste, lower caste, Muslim, Buddhist, Sikh, Indian Christian, Anglo-Indians, European and Dalit. Dalits were assigned a number of seats to be filled by election from special constituency in which voter belonging to Dalit community only could vote. By Communal Award, they gave separate electorate for Dalits, Sikh and many more, but award was opposed by Mahatma Gandhi. This award, Communal Award was opposed by Mahatma Gandhi, and who fasted in protest against it. And after a lengthy negotiation, Gandhi reached an agreement called Pune Pact with Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who have single Hindu electorate with Dalit having seats reserved within it. Madan Mohan Malviya signed it on the behalf of Gandhi. This is very important because Gandhiji was in Yerwada jail when Pune Pact was signed. So question will be asked, who signed Pune Pact on the behalf of Gandhiji? The answer will be Madan Mohan Malviya. And how many seats were given to depressed class? Depressed class got 147 seat instead of 80 seat by the Britisher. Communal Award जो था वो was based on finding of Indian Franchise Committee, that was Lothian Committee. So Communal Award is directly related to Lothian Committee. This point is also very important. Next is Cripps Mission. So in March 1942, Sir Stafford Cripps, he was a member of British cabinet, came with draft declaration on the proposal of British government. This proposal were to be adopted at the end of Second World War, provided the Congress Muslim League could accept them. So this Cripps Mission came in 1942. इसमें सर स्टैफोर्ड क्रिप्स मेंबर थे और इसके साथ साथ इसके हेड थे. बेसिकली अकॉर्डिंग टू प्रपोजल, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया वाज टू फ्रेम्ड बाय कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली. इसमें बोला गया था प्रपोजल के अकॉर्डिंग कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन जो है फ्रेम किया जाएगा बाय कॉन्स्टिट्यूएंट असेंबली. तो क्वेश्चन आता है बाय विच कमीशन, तो आप बताएंगे दैट इज क्रिप्स मिशन. Constitution of India was to be framed by Constituent Assembly. Next, Constitution should provide India a dominion status by Cripps Mission, और there should be one Indian Union जिसके अंदर provinces होंगे, Indian states होंगे, और any province अगर वो accept नहीं करना चाहता है तो उसके ऊपर कोई क्या कहते हैं फोर्स नहीं करेगा. इसका ये था, ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट उनको सेपरेट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल अरेंजमेंट प्रोवाइड करेगी. दिस इज बाय क्रिप्स मिशन 1942. Next is Cabinet Mission. After Cripps Mission, next is Cabinet Mission. In March 1946, Clement Attlee was the PM of Britain, sent a cabinet mission to India. इसके अंदर 3 कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर्स थे, लॉर्ड पैथिक लॉरेंस, सर स्टैफोर्ड क्रिप्स एंड A.B. Alexander. Objective of cabinet mission was to help Indians in their independence, to achieve its independence as early as possible, and set up a constituent assembly and set up a constitutional assembly. Next point is कि cabinet mission plan के according there was to be Union of India, इसमें ब्रिटिश इंडिया एंड स्टेट भी रहेंगे साथ में, और जितना भी होगा जुरिडिक्शन, फॉरेन अफेयर, डिफेंस और कम्युनिकेशन का वो ब्रिटिश के पास रहेगा. नेक्स्ट ऑल रेजिडियरी पावर वर टू वेस्टेड इन प्रोविंसेस, जितनी भी रेजिडियरी पावर्स हैं वो किन के पास रहेंगी, स्टेट्स के पास. नेक्स्ट, द यूनियन वाज टू हैव एन एग्जीक्यूटिव एंड लेजिस्लेचर consisting of representative of the provinces and the state. Next, the provinces could form groups with executive and legislature, and each group could be competent to determine the provincial subjects. Provinces जो है ग्रुप बना सकती हैं एग्जीक्यूटिव और लेजिस्लेचर के बेसिस पे, और ईच ग्रुप जो है क्या कहते हैं अपने प्रोविंशियल सब्जेक्ट्स को देख सकते हैं. नेक्स्ट इज माउंट बेटन, that is Mountbatten plan. Mountbatten plan so plan for transfer of power Indians and partition of the country was laid down in Mountbatten plan. This is very important. जो जाता है पार्टीशन ऑफ कंट्री किस एक्ट के कमीशन के थ्रू हुई थी, तो आप बताएंगे लॉर्ड माउंटबेटन. उससे पहले फॉर्मल शेप जो है स्टेटमेंट को दिया था 3 जून 1947. नेक्स्ट, इंडियन इंडिपेंडेंस एक्ट ऑफ 1947 इंपॉर्टेंट. इस एक्ट के थ्रू क्या क्या हुआ था. ऑन February 20, 1947 ब्रिटिश प्राइम मिनिस्टर जो थे क्लीमेंट एटली डिक्लेयर किया कि ब्रिटिश रूल जो है विल बी एंड बाय 30 जून 1948. 1948 तक एंड हो जाएगी. End of British rule in India was declared independent and sovereign. Next, partition of India and Pakistan. It is very important. Partition होगा. Abolition of post of Viceroy and Secretary, Governor General of India and Pakistan. Empowering Constituent Assembly of both Dominion of India and Pakistan by through किसके legislative and executive power के. Next, no act of the British Parliament passed after 15th August 1947. कोई भी एक्ट पास नहीं हुआ, और जो भी होगा वो डोमिनियन अपने अपने हिसाब से करेगा, वेदर इट्स डोमिनियन ऑफ इंडिया और पाकिस्तान. नेक्स्ट, इट discontinued the appointment to civil services and reservation of post by Secretary of State for India. सिविल सर्विसेज का डिसकंटिन्यू कर दिया गया थ्रू दिस एक्ट. ऑल्सो सेक्रेटरी ऑफ स्टेट का भी. नेक्स्ट, मेंबर जो थे सिविल सर्विसेज के जो बिफोर 50 who were appointed before 15 August 1947 would continue to enjoy all benefit जो उनको पहले से मिल रहे थे. नेक्स्ट, एट द स्ट्रोक ऑफ मिडनाइट 14-15 अगस्त ब्रिटिश रूल एंड हुआ, और पावर जो किस पे गई, डोमिनियन ऑफ इंडिया एंड पाकिस्तान. नाउ इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट इज लॉर्ड माउंटबेटन become first governor general of new dominion. जवाहरलाल नेहरू फर्स्ट प्राइम मिनिस्टर थे. कॉन्स्टिट्यूंट असेंबली ऑफ इंडिया फॉर्म्ड इन 1946 क्योंकि पार्लियामेंट बनी ऑफ इंडियन डोमिनियन. इंटरिम गवर्नमेंट, दिस फोटो ऑफ गवर्नमेंट. इंटरिम गवर्नमेंट, so cabinet of interim government. It is also very important. Question is how many members were there? There were 14 members. There were 14 members in Viceroy Executive Council. Viceroy was the president of this Executive Council, and who was the vice president of the council? He was Jawaharlal Nehru. This is very important. Jawaharlal Nehru was designated as vice president of the council. तो ये 14 members हैं. क्वेश्चन आता है यहाँ से. जवाहरलाल नेहरू एक्सटर्नल अफेयर एंड कॉमनवेल्थ रिलेशंस के लिए. वल्लभ भाई पटेल होम इंफॉर्मेशन एंड ब्रॉडकास्टिंग. बलदेव सिंह इज डिफेंस, आगे भी मिलेंगे आपको. डॉक्टर जॉन मथाई इंडस्ट्री एंड सप्लाई. सी राजगोपालाचारी एजुकेशन. सी एच भाभा वर्कर एंड माइंस. राजेंद्र प्रसाद वुड एंड एग्रीकल्चर. असफ अली रेलवे. जगजीवन राम लेबर. लियाकत अली फिनेंस. टी चुंद्रीगर कॉमर्स. अब्दुल रब निश्तर कम्युनिकेशन, गजनफर अली खान हेल्थ और जोगेंद्र नाथ मंडल वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Maybe they asked their portfolio. This is very important. Next is first cabinet of free India. यहाँ पर भी 14 members हैं. So Jawaharlal Nehru was Prime Minister, External Affairs Minister, Commonwealth Relation and Scientific Research. का पोर्टफोलियो थे इनके पास. सरदार वल्लभ भाई पटेल was Home Information and Broadcasting. State. Dr. Rajendra Prasad Food and Agriculture as previous one. मौलाना अबुल कलाम आजाद एजुकेशन, ये किसके पास था? सी राजगोपालाचारी के पास था. डॉक्टर जॉन मथाई रेलवे एंड ट्रांसपोर्ट, अर्लियर क्या था उनके पास? लॉ था. आर के शनमुगन शेट्टी फिनेंस, बी आर अम्बेडकर लॉ, जगजीवन राम लेबर, बलदेव सिंह प्रीवियस की तरह डिफेंस, राजकुमारी अमृत कौर हेल्थ, सी एच भाभा कॉमर्स, रफ़ी अहमद खिदवती कम्युनिकेशन, डॉक्टर शिवम प्रसाद मुखर्जी इंडस्ट्रीज एंड सप्लाई, वी एन गाडगिल वर्क माइंस एंड पावर. चलिए कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस करते हैं. इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चन फॉर यूपीएससी ईपीएफओ के लिए जितना पढ़ा है हमने. फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज विच ऑफ द फॉलोइंग एक्ट प्रोवाइडेड फॉर फेडरल पॉलिटी? फेडरल पॉलिटी. आंसर इज गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया एक्ट ऑफ 1935. नेक्स्ट, इन द फेडरेशन establishment under the Government of India Act 1935, residuary power were given to Governor General. Answer is Governor General. Next, which of the following is not an important permanent constituent in the constitutional history of India as adopted in Government of India Act of 1935? Is not the part of Government of India Act of 1935. तो answer is written constitution for the country. बाकी सब part. Next, the demand of the constitution was accepted in August of. Very important. Next, one amongst the following was not a salient feature of Government of India Act 1935. कौन सा फीचर नहीं है? The act provided for all India Federation. It is true. Residuary subject were allocated to provincial legislator. नहीं. Viceroy को दी थी. It marked the beginning of provincial autonomy. True. Abolished hierarchy at provincial level. Introduced at the center. True. So answer is D. Next, why is the Government of India Act 1935 important? क्यों important है? Because it is the main source of the Constitution of India. Next, which one of the following act led to separation of Burma from India? Through which act? Government of India Act of 1935. Next question. As per cabinet mission plan in the Constituent Assembly to decide allotted members' seat in each provinces, one representative was in ratio to which population? 10 lakh. This is also very important. 10 lakh. कैबिनेट मिशन कब आया था? 1946 में. और उसमें कितना था पॉपुलेशन? 10. नेक्स्ट, who among the following person was not a member of cabinet mission? William Wood was not the member of cabinet mission. Patrick Lawrence, Stafford Cripps, A.B. Alexander, all are member. Next, Indian Constitution Assembly was established under, I told you earlier, by Cabinet Mission 1946. Indian Constituent Assembly was established by Cabinet Mission 1946. Next, in the interim government formed in 1946. In 1946, the Vice President of Executive Council was he? Jawaharlal Nehru. Jawaharlal Nehru. Next, How many provinces was the Congress ministry formed in the election? Answer is 8. Answer is 8. इलेक्शंस हुए थे 11 प्रोविंसेस में, आउट ऑफ 8 प्रोविंसेस कांग्रेस ने अपनी मिनिस्ट्री फॉर्म की थी. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन. द प्रपोजल फॉर फ्रेमिंग ऑफ द कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया बाय एन इलेक्टेड कॉन्स्टिट्यूंट असेंबली was made by Cripps Mission. By Cripps Mission. Next, it is an agreement by free will to be terminated by free will. This above statement was said by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. To whom? Yeah, to which of the following? India is a nation with Commonwealth of Nation. For Commonwealth of Nation, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru had said. Next, how many women members were there in Indian Constituent Assembly? Very important. Answer is 15. Answer is 15. 15 women members were in the Indian Constituent Assembly. Their name are Ammu Swaminathan, Annie Mascarin, Sarojini Naidu, Dakshani Veliadun, G. Durgabai Deshmukh, Hansa Mehta, Kamla Chaudhary, Leela Roy, Malti Chaudhary, Rajkumar Amrit Kaur, Renuka Rai, Purnia Banerjee, Begum Aizaz Rasool, Sucheta Kriplani और विजय लक्ष्मी पंडित. There were 15 women member in Constituent Assembly. Last question. Which of the following are the principal feature of Government of India Act 1919? The introduction of diarchy in the executive government of the provinces is correct or not? 2. Introduction of separate communal electorate for Muslim is wrong. It was introduced by 1909. Next, devolution of legislative council authority by center to the provinces. True. Answer will be. This is all about today's lecture. Thank you.